Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is Gordon Bates, photographer with Graphing of Photons. I'm going to show you how you can use Photoshop to create a composite image that will contain all of these individual images. You can apply this to your own photography. You can apply this to team photos that you download of yourself. There are many applications for this method. So I'm going to start by expanding the canvas size. If you go up here to Image, Canvas Size, I have 6 images that I want to composite together. So I'm going to make this canvas wider and taller. If you go over here, instead of specifying the width in inches, I'm going to make it percent. So let's make this canvas be 3 times as wide, 300%, and let's make it be 3 times as tall. This is bigger than we're going to need, but in the end we're going to crop all of the blank canvas out. So you notice the canvas has expanded. And now I'm going to start arranging my layers. Let's move this top layer here by using the Move tool. Looks like a crosshairs right here. I'm going to move this layer up into the corner. Now, to move this layer, we have to have it selected. You can click on the layer over here, or an easier way is if you hold Control and you click on the layer right here, it will select that layer, and now you can move it. So I'm going to get all these layers moved. Alrighty. So there's quite a bit of space between all these people. Let's decrease the space between the people. And when I start moving this over, you're going to see the image get cut off. We're also going to fix that. Let's get all of the layers moved. And let's fix the way that they overlap, because that doesn't look very good. That doesn't look normal. Here's where the magic happens. To select all of the layers, which is what you need to do, click on the top layer, hold down Shift, and click on the bottom layer. I'm working over here right now. So, I selected the top layer, held Shift, and selected the bottom layer. Now we can change the blend mode. Right here is where your blend modes are. Right now it's on normal. We're going to change that blend mode to lighten. You can see, after you change it to lighten, you can see the difference. Watch right here. I'm switching back and forth between normal and lighten, and the effect that it has is it lets the brighter pixels of any layer be the pixels that show. Alright, now we can see how the layers are arranged relative to each other, and I'm noticing that these gowns overlap right here, and it looks a little bit weird. So again, hold Control, click on this layer, and oh, the problem is we still have all of the layers selected. So let's select just one layer. Hold Control, click on the layer that you want to mess with, and let's move it over so that the gowns are not overlapping. Okay, these gowns are a little bit far apart, so hold Control, click on this one, move it over. And these gowns are a little bit far apart, so let's get all the gowns so they're not really far apart and not overlapping either. Well, I think that's looking pretty good. My complaint is there's this hard line right here, and also you can see that there's some canvas showing through. There's also a lot of extra canvas. We're going to trim off the extra canvas in a later step. For right now, let's fix this hard line that's right here. We're going to create a new layer. Make sure that layer is on the very top. And we're going to fill this new layer with black. To fill that layer, we need to use the selection tool. Select the entire canvas, right-click, fill, black. When you do this, you have a drop-down, there's options. Make sure black is selected. And it filled this layer with black, which this layer is above all the other layers, so it's covering those layers. That's normal, that's what we expect. Let's create a layer mask on this new black layer. Here's the layer mask button. And this layer mask is currently white, so a white layer mask is not masking out anything. If you do Control-I with that layer mask selected, by selected I mean this is the layer being selected, and this is the layer mask being selected. We filled the layer mask in with black by Control-I, which inverts the mask. The inversion of white is black. So now none of this black layer is showing. We want some of that black layer to show because we don't want this hard line right here. We're going to let some of that black layer we're going to let some of that black layer show through by painting a little bit of white. White is all Fs. I remember that by F for full, so full brightness on all of the RGB colors. Full brightness is 255 on all R, G, and B. If it's not already white, you can select white by moving all the way to the upper left. Let's paint some white. By painting, I mean use the brush tool. Paint some white on that layer mask. We want to use 0 hardness, 100% opacity, and 100% flow. So let's go ahead and paint some white on that layer mask. And you notice I only clicked on the left and the right. The way that I did that is I click on the left, I hold down the Shift key, and click on the right. And it will paint a line all the way through, connecting those points where I clicked. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom as well, because the bottom has a hard line, and these hard lines, in my opinion, just don't look good. So click on the left, maybe double click to get twice the effect. Okay, hold shift, click on the right, and it paints the line all the way across. Let's do that again, just to double up the effect and make sure that that hard line is not showing at all. Okay. So now that we've eliminated those hard lines, let's cut out the blank parts of this canvas. To cut out, we're going to use the crop tool to cut out the canvas. Crop tool is up here. And you can see the outline of your crop. I'm going to bring this in a little bit here. And from the bottom right, I'm going to bring this up here. And there we go. You have now created a composite out of several images by using images that have a fully blacked out background and applying the Lighten Blend Mode to the layers that are the images you are combining. So if I was your photographer, feel free to download your images and apply this technique. This took us about 11 minutes to do the tutorial. At first it might take a little bit longer. It's okay if it takes you 20 minutes to do it, because it might take some stumbling around at first. You might have to search online for how to do some of the techniques. Eventually you're going to get this down to about 5 or 10 minutes, and you're going to be able to do this to your friends' images and to all of your images. I hope you learned something today. Have a good day.